Yeah, I think it was a good lineup. All the ladies were impressive. I'm still like one thing I could say. I was kind of shocked that Alcyone
Oh, I
dropped
was
down.
shocked.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it
definitely
was.
shocked. I had no idea that she was in third call out.
Yeah, you know, along with Hunter Henderson. I think also Ava Manello
Yeah.
and Julia Wetzel. But I
Yep.
think with Ava, she just needs to work on her conditioning because
Yes.
I think she was the youngest out of the group. I think she's just in her 20s.
Yeah, she's got size, man. She's got some big time legs and some good overall size. She just needs to come in a little bit more conditioned, for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing is that's it's important if you bring in that
Yeah,
conditioning. I
but
mean,
she's inexperienced. She's in her 20s. She's got plenty of time.
yeah, I remember one lady told me she has those what you call baby muscles, so she's trying really to grow and develop. And with Julie Wetzel, she's her and Ava about the same height. They're both big girls, and she also may need to work on some things. I think she did switch coaches. I think she got the same coaches Hella and Sherry,
Sherry.
and yeah, and maybe I don't know. Maybe was she? I think she got to him a little too late. I think she got with this guy. I think right after the Rising Phoenix. So because she was, I think it was her coach and her that was doing most of her um her training. As a competitor, is it a good idea to be your own coach? Because I know some people they do it because you can't afford a coach, but is it a good idea to be your own coach?
I mean, I guess if you've got enough experience and you feel like you've coached, other people, and you're that confident that you don't need a second eye. But to me, never. I would never just coach myself. It would have to be. I would have to have other eyes, a second pair of eyes.
Yeah, it's important that because sometimes, especially if your coach is one of your spouses, sometimes they may not be as judgmental or maybe be more, I would say, try to be a little more kind to you in a way. But when you get this another eye who's very more experienced, who's more willing to tell you, hey, you got to fix that, you got to fix that, you got to
Hmm.
fix that, that helps. But the thing is, like I said, the cost of coaching training.
Sure.
But like I said, yeah. Here we got comments here from my man Money J. He says Ava top body was impressive, though still needs a great amount of conditioning, but still impressive. Also, he says this: all the younger girls were dead last at the bottom. Ava, Julia, and Hunter. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I think Julia may be in her, mid 30s. Ava is in her early 20s, mid 20s, and so is Hunter. She's probably in her late 20s. Other than that, you have Austin Young who's in her 40s. Um, this is for my man. Ashley is her 30s, right? Yeah, Ashley's in her 30s. So yeah, that's the thing is, I think the thing is, when you get older, sometimes you start hitting that level of muscle maturity. Like good example, like Hella.
Yeah.
Hella's I think almost 50 and she looked really good. I mean, but still, you were competing with some women in their early 40s, late mid 30s, and you held your own. And pretty much, I think Osio, not Osio, Nadia might be in her 40s, but you held your own, and I gotta respect that.
Yeah. How old? Nadia. Actually, Nadia surprised me. I didn't think. I would have thought Levena would have beat Nadia.
hmm Yeah, because I think she's working with Amanda Machado. Because she moved here to the states um, from Brazil. I
From
think early
Brazil.
this year. Yeah, and you really see this picture. I'm gonna pull it right here. This is like this is the picture from I think this is from the finals. And this is a picture of her back. And
Wow.
wow, I mean,
Yep.
and she got to think
She's.
about it. She's in her mid 20s. I think she's 27, 28.
Hmm.
And that is, she was probably one of the youngest competitors. next to Ashley in the top 10. I mean, this was just crazy how she transformed when she made a debut. She's working with here. She's working with Amanda Machado, who's a physique competitor,
Yep.
and that's
Her
her
husband.
coach. Yeah,
Yep.
and her husband. Yeah, and she's really has come a long way. I know if my man, if my man KL the one was here, he would be. I mean, one thing kind of hurts her to me is the breast implants.
Yep.
They cannot take away from the aesthetics of her physique. She had a great physique before. She just needed to work on her conditioning.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah. Anyway, he says, oh, boy. But
Well, she's definitely an up and coming.
yeah, she's up and coming. I think it's the thing about up and comers. It takes time to work.
Yep.
Um, this is from a man Warrior. He says, Nadia looked good. Yeah, she did look good. Yeah, I gotta give her that. Also, Lavinia Barrows looked stunning too, as always. And also, this is from a man says, "God damn, what a back!" Yeah, it's crazy. And we all know that the back can make or break how you do at a show. It's bringing that condition, that level. Good example, somebody like Teresa Vasic, who really I think has one of the best backs. 'Cause you were at Triple Dynasty when she competed at that show.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got an amazing back. I think she's got the best back out in right now. If she can tie
Yeah,
in that conditioning.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. This might be talk that she was really going through last year because the cost of traveling, all this. And she sponsored. It's like Hella, and also Ashley. That's been sponsored, by my man Glenn at Bad at
Amazon Fit.
Amazon Fit. Yes, sorry, I forget, and also they also Hella's sponsored by you, and that's the thing that helps. Sponsorship does help for a lot of these competitors. We have here my man, aka formerly female body, female muscle, and now he goes by the name Jeremy, physical female physique fan. We like to welcome him onto the
Oh,
show.
hey Jeremy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey,
Doing
hey,
great.
hey,
How are
hey,
you?
Oh,
hey, hi.
having to adjust.
Oh,
I've been working nights for 12 years, and this week I had to work days for the first time.
oh
So this has
wow.
been this has been a big adjustment. So, but other than that, we're doing okay. So,
Yeah. Well, as you know, Jeremy, he is also a fan of bodybuilding, and I mean, last time we said you weren't able going to watch the Olympia, but did you catch any videos and clips, some here and there?
mainly just the contest pics
Hmm.
that I've seen over on NPC News Online, and just also following along with what everybody has been saying over on IG. So.
Hmm. So, what's your thoughts, like especially the lineup in women's bodybuilding?
Well, I guess I'm not surprised with the top three because I had Andrea, Angelo, and Angela, Andrea, Angela, and Ashley
Triple A.
all in top. Yep, I had them all in top three. It was just a question of who was going to get what place. So, especially Ashley had a post just before she went on stage, just her back alone, and I was like, oh my god, right there, right there, she's going to be in top three. So I guess I was I didn't know it was going to deal with Hella. I didn't think she was going to get as high as she did, but she proved me wrong because seeing her some of her videos, but then sure enough, she comes back like gangbusters on stage, one of the very best in the world, along with Nadia. It's like if Nadia can tie it in and get everything there, she's a top level competitor too. Because what was it, 2021? She won 3 pro shows then, back to back to back. No, I don't know if it's back to back to back, but she's a top competitor as well. So that sixth place, like I said earlier, it's like is up for grabs. I mean, I'm glad Christina got it because she has such a phenomenal look. And then I guess for all the other ones, it was like it's just a matter of who brings it best. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Teresa because She had rumblings earlier this year that this may be her last year, that she may be retiring. So it'll be interesting after this Olympia as to whether or not that still proves true. I was really surprised about Ava being dead last. That was the thing. That was the one that surprised me the most because I mean, and but then when I looked at her contest pics, I saw how smooth she was, particularly in her midsection and her legs. Then I guess it made sense for me then. But as far as the top three goes, I had Andrea, Angela, and Ashley going into this, so I'm not at all surprised
Yeah,
that they got what they got.
I wasn't too surprised about that. I know the one, like I said again, was the three that kind of surprised me was Alcione going to next to the bottom, and both Michaela and Sherry not getting the top five. Uh, I don't like I said, you know who the judges air show is Sandy Williamson, and there's always that talk that they don't want the women to be too star-rated, yada 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 yada. But then you have people like Andrea, you have Angela, and even a bit of Ashley. So you're thinking that maybe those two will be like I would say 4 and 6 or 4 and 5 or 5 and 6.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. We have some comments here, and this is from our man KL the Wanderer. He says, "Hey, what up?" Also, this is from a man Warrior. He says Brazilian exotic beauty. He's talking about Lavinia. This is from Warrior. Says Lavinia is officially my only favorite fantasy crush. Well, my question is always going to be Andrea. I think Lavinia is beautiful. She's attractive, but I love Andrea. Also, this is from a man Lawrence. Says I love Lavinia too, but it's great to see every bodybuilding shows, regardless, it's arts and crafts that save lives. And yes, it comes it's the cons of sports. I understand too longs. We keep doing better. Whatever you say, yeah. Brother, you can work on your spell check. Also, this is for a man, Money J says the FBBC is going to have a lot of talk about with their Miss Olympia wrap up video. They will post it on there. And also from here it says, as my man Lawrence says, I hope everyone family in Florida doing okay and well. Well, I hope so too, because I know, David, he went up there, shout out to David, great guy. He was there. He got to do some interviews, talk to some ladies. We were talking back and forth. I wanted to come on, but no, he just left there last night. I said, you know what, we'll have you on our Muscle Talk Monday because that's where I usually do it. But I know I want to get Eunice's point of view. I know she's busy during the week, and this is the best time to do it on the weekend. I was hoping to get some others, but there's some problems going on. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It used to be I could say a link and boom, but now StreamYard has changed where you have to have certain things. So I'm sorry we can't get the rest of the guests here. I hope we can get them maybe tomorrow. But here we got here from my man Money J says Christina Lavinia rival Andrea in terms of natural beauty and gorgeous features. No, I would say they're attractive ladies, but they're not rival Andrea. So what folks I'm going to do is there was somebody posted a video and it was from the finals, and I'm going to post it up, and y'all can watch it, and also give critique of what you see from the show. So we're going to post it. I'll pull it up here in a sec, and it was fun. As you know, the finals. It was the top four, and I'm going to pull it up here, and I want to give y'all a look. So especially you guys who missed it, you can go to certain channels. They post it, but if you missed the show, we're going to give you a little critique of the finals, the last four ladies in women's bodybuilding.
These guys don't even eat the whole thing. It's not that big, right? Maybe that's what took us so long. Put some tune on mine.
We have here, who just popped in, we have here is Janine Lakowski, IFBB Pro. She is, she competed this year, did a couple of shows. Welcome, ma'am. I know she's trying to get on because the technical difficulties, it's some shit sometimes. But we hope she's doing all right because she lives in Florida. Hope everything's all right with you, and thank you for coming by.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Sorry I was a little bit late.
That's all right. That's all
My
right.
internet's spotty wherever you are down here in Florida right now. So
Yeah, I know y'all just got through Helena and then got hit with Milton. It's tough. I mean, my heart goes out to you. I remember when Matthew hit us, it was just awful. It took us a good while to recover. So as you know, Janine is IFB Pro. She didn't get to catch it, but we want to get her thoughts as we're going to pull up some pictures here for her because she did come in a little late. And you know, I would say Andrea looked really good. Do you agree, ma'am?
I just saw some pictures online. She did tighten up, like I said she would, from the Rising Phoenix going into the Olympia. But we also have to remember we had different judges at the Rising Phoenix. Sandy wasn't there at the Rising Phoenix this year, if I remember correctly, and Sandy again was there at the Olympia. So the judges, you have different judges looking at an athlete one way, and then you have the judges that look at the athletes a different way, right? So we have to take that into consideration as well. But Andrea did come in looking tighter, but so did Angela. She came in tight as well. She was not going to back down. So I think it was really a tight call between the top two, from what I saw.
Yeah, I like to say it was really close because you know what, Angela looked pretty good at the Rising Phoenix.
Yep.
I felt personally she might have shot the gun too early because Rising Phoenix is a great title, but everybody's wants to shoot for the Olympia.
Yeah.
And Andrea, she really, I think what she said in the interview, she said she didn't go back home. Like I said earlier, she didn't go back home to Michigan. She stayed in Arizona, and I think she's working with a different coach. Also, she had Sid Gillen. Sid has announced her retirement,
Yeah.
and she had her working as opposing coach. Now we'll go back with Sid here. As you know, Sid is top level competitor, and it was a surprise that she decided to retire. You think if she stayed in, you think she could have maybe hit 10 Miss Olympias? Anybody? What y'all think?
Well, I think she most definitely could have kept on going, but once you've been up there so long, she may want to have a life, right? Like a life outside of bodybuilding. Maybe she wants to have a family because she got married. I think it's her second year anniversary or third. Can't recall. So sometimes, as a female athlete, they want to still have the best of both worlds. And I know that she's focusing too on a lot of her shows. She's got a show coming up in the new year. Hello.
Yeah, because they announced both her and Sid, and I'm gonna find that link and I'll pull it up. They announced that they're gonna have the Triple O Dynasty,
Yep.
and that's gonna be in April the 5th. And yeah, I really, like I said, it's a great show because it's the show. I think the show is giving the certain divisions like women's bodybuilding, physique, and figure a place where we all know the Arnold and no longer has any divisions. What y'all think also about? Also, Chris Bumstead decided to retire after this,
Yeah.
and that's something I think going to maybe clear the way for a lot of guys to get that title for classic physique.
Yeah. I think it, athletes know when it's time to retire and put up their hat, right? Or put up their trunks. Athletes just know when it's time to go in a different route. Like we can't stay in it forever. Um, but I think the people that have chose to step back and pave the way for others, I think they just knew it was time to go, right? Like
Mhm.
it's just their time to either work on something different or step back and focus on different aspects of their life.
Mhm.
And it's that time. I mean, let others kind of strive for that title as well. Being there
Mhm.
constantly and taking over, you know, yes, it makes it a little bit harder for athletes to get up there. And it's time for other blood to come in. You have to keep letting new blood come in, just like new judges have to come in, new athletes need to come in to keep the sport interesting. And the only thing that really did, I'm going to be straight, the only thing that really did piss me off is when they always say, show me your favorite pose in classic. The lat spread is not in classic bodybuilding. So that rule has to change. That is not a classic pose, and everyone knows it, and they all did it. So now you're, again, like I talk about with posing, you're mixing all those categories together. Classic has classic poses. They have classic poses with their arms up in different styles. It's not a lat spread.
Mhm. Yeah, because we talked about before how you're seeing more even physique girls doing front lat spread,
Yeah,
where it's a pose that's dominantly in men's bodybuilding and women's bodybuilding,
yeah. It should
and
never come over. Never. Even people putting their hands on their hips in bikini or physique or figure. No, the Wonder Woman pose or whatever they're calling it. No, that should not come in. You're meshing them together and confusing athletes. Like if people were just watching the Olympia for the first time, they would think that was bodybuilding Bumstat, and he's not. He's a classic bodybuilder. That's old school. If you look into the golden age, there was no lat spreads in there
Mhm. Yeah,
at all,
yeah.
and
Also,
no players either.
yeah, we have here a comment from a man. Shout out to man, Money Jay. You know, he says he's the fan. He says, I love them both. He says, Angela and Andrea are mutual friends. Respect the camaraderie
Mhm.
between them. It's adorable. And also, he says, dynamic posing. Angela is. Yeah, I give it that.
Mhm.
And also, my man Ward 2000 says, "Wowzer, that's all I got to say. I know that's your girl, George, but she looks good. The day you meet her will be better than all the holidays for you. It's that happens. Maybe someday, brother. I would love to meet her. I'm obsessed over. I think she's a great person,
Yeah.
amazing lady. I think she really brought a certain level to the
Oh, yeah.
sport. I think bodybuilding was on pretty much like you know this Janine and both
Yes.
both you and Janine and this Eunice, how bodybuilding was pretty much on a verge where no one was giving you opportunities. Shows were so few and far between. Getting kicked out of the Olympia, getting kicked out of the Arnold, and now 60 years since the Olympia, and
Mhm.
now the fifth year for women's bodybuilding at this show.
Yeah. What was the question, George?
There's no
Sorry.
question. There's just a comment.
Oh,
There's no
okay.
questions.
I wasn't sure if it was a comment. Sorry, a
Yeah,
question.
comment. I don't, you know how I work. I don't.
My head's
I
still
do.
spinning from everything going on in life.
Yeah. When I put in questions, I say questions, but most time I just be commenting. Sometimes, you know.
Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. Be careful. But yeah, it is. The sport has changed, and young ladies have been in the sport quite some time. You think that, as you said, Janine, change is good, especially in sport, but sometimes it can be hit or miss depending.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have rules for categories for a reason, right? So that is to keep us in our lanes, our proper lanes, right? And when athletes are blending them in, there's no lanes. So now it's becoming confusing. What's what? And you need to know what division you're in and stay in that lane and do the poses what are in that category. Crossing over, and anybody sitting on this panel is going to say the exact same thing. If you are a newbie coming to a show watching and you see a figure competitor doing a lat spread in their presentation, you're going to be like, what the fuck am I looking at? Let's be real. Bodybuilding always has their rules and the credentials. Bodybuilding started all the other divisions. You don't come in and steal the poses that started the industry, started that division because you think you can do it. You're actually hurting your physique by pulling off those things, because if you can't showcase it properly and you don't have lats, you just killed your physique. You just made the judge put a score on you going, yeah, no. That showed a lot of that actually hurts an athlete doing a pose that doesn't belong in the category, because that means your body's not developed. in order to showcase that pose. Does anybody agree? Does everybody agree that's an
I
athlete?
would agree, but the thing is, I mean, the reason that you are seeing that happen on the pro level is look what's happening on the amateur level. When you have divisional crossovers there, it's now getting to the point, specifically with figure, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding.
Yep.
What exactly are you? Because
Exactly.
now you have a situation whereby an amateur competitor can go and enter into at the same show, can enter into figure and women's physique and women's bodybuilding and win all three.
Yeah, which I think
Or on the national level, you can enter into in some of these shows, you can enter all three of those and win 3 pro cards at
Yep.
the same show. So it's
Right.
like, and then what's happening is they're used to that situation whereby they can go into that, but now you go into the pros where no, you can't do that anymore. You have to say what you are. Are you a figure competitor? Are you a women's physique competitor? Are you a bodybuilder? And
You
the
know-
people ask why the blending is happening on the pro ranks. It's because it's happening on the amateur ranks and it's bleeding over into the pro ranks. That's why, in my humble opinion, that's why you see, Janine, what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
why
got-
it's got to stop. It's
And
got to
I did-
stop.
and honestly, I don't know who it is behind that name, but anyways, Femme Physique. I've already talked to a lot of the judges in the Florida divisions, like in the Florida tier. So I'm hoping that it goes farther. And the next step is for me to actually talk to companions and say, hey, we need to fix this because it's actually hurting. Yes, you're all about money and coming into the sport. I get that. But there has to be criteria at some point, or else there's going to be a lot of confusion. And then being a pro bodybuilder, a pro figure, a pro whatever means shit because you're all the, there is no, it used to be an honor to be a pro athlete, honestly, because we had to work our ass off to get there. Now it's not an honor.
And you know, I just interviewed a young lady just a month or so ago, Stephanie Herrera. She earned her pro cards at North Americans. She won 2 of them in physique and 1 in figure. And that's like this is 2 classes in physique and 1 in a figure and 1 in figure.